Hey, welcome back to Of the Devil. Cheesy here. Last left off, we were called into the Ikariya after we sort of, I guess, set up one of their folks as the potential murderer for a scene we caused in the first part of the episode. But it's all good. Now we've just been confronted by this literal child. So I guess we're going to get to learn why we've been chosen to do lawyer things. Apparently we were recommended. If I wasn't brought here because of what just happened last night, then this is just another job. Meaning all of this starting back at the bar. This has all been their idea of a power move. Thank you for insisting that I get to visit your estate in person. It's beautiful here. An oasis of old-world sensibility amidst a desert of steel and neon eyesores, is what the house elders say. I've never seen anything like it. It matches your family's reputation for class. Ha! My family's reputation is power, not class. I'd take it a step further and guess you're renowned for violence rather than power. But that's a moot point. Violence can be classy. And from how this house is talked about in the headlines I read on the drive over, the nature of your family's reputation seems to vary greatly depending on who you ask. Some think you've got half the gangs in the city under your control. Others think you've left all that behind and are no worse than any other corporate family. Are you expecting me to ask you what you think? What I think is that I'll need some basic information if I'm to adequately defend your interests. We're financiers. Financiers? You don't say. Lending, investing, taking over, buying out. The Ikariya Financial Group was founded nearly 2 centuries ago. Loaning funds is high risk and high reward. But as you can see, our results speak for themselves. What term did I get here? Okay, might as well. The Ikariya Financial Group is a private investment company, one of the nation's most exclusive asset managers of 2086. We believe that investing should be accessible to anyone, and that's best accomplished by tailoring their investment portfolio to suit their specific needs. Interested in working with us? Let's get started on your profile below so we can determine your options. Remember, even if you unfortunately aren't a good fit for IFG itself, we'll always be happy to set you up with one or more of our partners that are better suited to your class. Interesting. Not data pads. I don't need to read data pads. I'm already an expert in data pads. Ikariya Financial Group. Fancy way of saying they got their start as mobster loan sharks. I mean, that is what it is. It's not impossible to get this rich with loan sharking alone, but such unsavory work wouldn't get them into the ballrooms and boardroom tiers of society. You gotta rip people off with mortgages to do that. Is lending the house his only income stream? No. Through Uhhh, our holding company, the house controls any number of what a civilian like you might call legitimate enterprises. And yes, we did find the Renogen Pharmaceutical Corporation, but what's past is prologue. Renogen, they're a drug company. One of the biggest. You're saying you've no relation to Renogen presently? The company went public years ago, and Uhhh divested our shares not long after. We were given 1 seat on the board, as a formality. That's the extent of it. Given. A family like this only takes. Why is he suddenly so humble? He doesn't know the meaning of the word. If he's downplaying their pull within Renogen, then the house must have a reason to want to distance themselves from the company. You're being very modest, Makoto. Actually, you know what? Might as well read about Renogen since they seem to be wary of it. Renogen is a global leader in pharmaceutical research, development, and distribution. A company that puts your health before any other concern. Our groundbreaking research into combating modern medical challenges has helped millions live happy, healthy lives. And we're proud to keep fighting that fight as we pursue our corporate goals. That sounds reassuring. So what their goals are. Put our medicine in the cabinet of every home. Okay. Improve patients' lives and their communities. Minimize our environmental footprint through sustainable ventures. Operate with dignity and pride in our ethics. Deliver consistent, steady growth to our investors. The best one. Shortly after our founding, our researchers developed metformin, the first orally ingested treatment for type 2 abnormal diabetes, freeing millions of adolescents suffering from its effects from being subjected to painful injections. Since then, we've gone on to improve on our formulation, and that constant dedication to perfecting our medicines has made us a national leader in pharmaceutical biosimilars. We're obsessed with perfection and driven by purpose. We'll never stop searching for the next step in the evolution of what it means to be healthy. Okay. Well, I don't trust that. And more than a little vague. It's only polite. It's unnecessary, talking to your lawyer. You aren't my lawyer, Mrs. Defense, but you will be working for me. So you'll have to become accustomed to putting your needs second. He's deflecting, and if he's trying to be subtle about it, he's not doing it well. I doubt it's possible. A company with as big as a boot heel as Renogen has no relation to anything that happens in this city, but I'll drop it for now. I'm in no rush to wade into boardroom politics again anytime soon. Makoto, I'd like to know a bit more about you, actually. How long have you? I am the only son of Raphael Ikariya and the only grandson of Daisuke Ikariya, CEO of Ikariya Financial Group, patriarch of this family, and chairman of the house. I gather those titles are all one and the same. As one destined to succeed the headship, commanding the family's servants is my responsibility and my birthright. So if one of them needs a lawyer, it falls to you. When our loyal men, women, or their families need help, it is my solemn duty to ensure that they are taken care of. And your age? What a boorish question. I knew that peasants raised outside our status had little understanding of the finer things, but I assumed that one with the law degree would be educated enough to know what is and isn't appropriate to discuss. I would just say, so you're 10? Just because I am one younger than some, does not mean I am any less capable of managing the people who work for me. I actually disagree with that. Does it, men? Sir, no, sir. You definitely command their respect. That is no coincidence. One of the most frequently noted characteristics of great men who have remained great is loyalty to their subordinates. So says George S. Patton. That's so interesting. This is an important point. Perhaps another quote is called for. I don't think that's necessary. I'll grant you another. If soldiers are punished before they have grown attached to you, they will not prove submissive. And unless submissive, then will be practically useless. So says Sun Tzu. Back to back. Yes, a second quotation was called for in this instance. Anyone who quotes Sun Tzu is usually full of shit. Sun Tzu's Art of War is great, but quoting it just feels dumb. It's a bit dramatic, I would say. If only to emphasize to you what no one stays useless to the House Ikariya for very long. One way or another. Alright, this manor. I'll admit I was a little taken aback to step off an elevator and into your enclosure out there. The gardens, yes, our groundskeepers work hard on them. Does the illusion of the sky come from a live recording of somewhere else? Or is it generated programmatically? That'd make quite the equation. It is impressive, yes. As for how it works, I don't have the technical minutiae in front of me at the moment. Minutiae. That's okay. Of course it is. A lion does not concern himself with the exterior decorations of the sheep. Okay. It's your exterior and your decorations. Yeah, I'm like, but it's yours. What does it matter anyway? If you want the specifics so badly, I'll have one of the servants put you in contact with the contracting firm. That's all right. Something tells me the consultation alone would break my bank account. The black suits. I do appreciate the warm welcome, Makoto of House Ikariya, really. But legal consultations are usually more private than this. Are we certain we need the peanut gallery? Let it not be said that House Ikariya is not accommodating of its guests. We're more than capable of compensating for this. Nut allergy you allude to. That's so sweet of you. But do all these guards really need to be present for this conversation? If you're referring to the additional security, it can't be helped, circumstances being what they are. Circumstances? And if you're referring to my retainers in general, then I suggest you step back into the garden and take a deep breath. Clearly, the city's fumes do not agree with your constitution. You must be lightheaded if you think that you're worthy to hold a one-on-one audience with the next head of this illustrious house. He's a prodigy to be this insufferable at such a young age. Thank you for indulging my curiosity so graciously, Makoto. Conquer the stingy through generosity. So says Buddha. Correct. Perhaps your education is not quite as deficient as I feared. But I should make it clear in this case I was using the quote to subtly imply that you are stingy with your own graciousness. Got it. Yep. Shall we move on? I believe you mentioned a homicide. Multiple homicides. Tell me more. My head of security was arrested by the police last night in the lower wards. They found him brutally beaten, drugged, and tortured. And instead of bringing him straight to a hospital, they arrested him for murder. He's been framed, and you must prove his innocence. Oh no, it's really biting us in the ass, huh? Ernesta, is there something wrong with your voice? Is that the peanut allergy you mentioned? No, I just lost my train of thought for a second there. I'm not used to my luck changing this fast. One of the richest families in the city wants me to pay me to prove a man's innocent of a crime I framed him for. Right then. I'd ask why he was found in the lower wards. I get the impression that Ikariya territory is generally positioned more vertically. This whole city is our territory, but it's true that our presence is felt more strongly in some areas than others. They captured him early yesterday. He was ambushed by cowards and dragged down to that stain of a neighborhood to be tortured senselessly. Well, he was tortured. I can attest to that much. But I don't believe in senseless violence. There's always a purpose, and it's usually staring you in the face. People just don't like making eye contact. Do you have any idea why he was taken, or by whom? It was the Blue Bloods. They made no effort to hide it. In a worthy opponent, I might call that commendable, but knowing them, they're just too stupid to value deniability. I'm sure. And I'm sure there's no love lost between your groups, but kidnapping and torturing is beyond the pale, I agree. And the police are even worse. I expected no help from those incompetent fools, but these charges they're making, they're utterly ridiculous. Of course they are. Don't worry. What? To think they want to pin 5 murders on it. 5. 5 murders. What? What was I about to say? Oh, well, anyways. We don't have 5 murders. Yeah, 5. Did you say 5? Yes, 5. It's absurd. Can only take credit for 4 bodies. Acting so high and mighty, so affronted, so eager to blame us for the death of one of their officers. A dead cop? Is this what those mercs were advertising themselves with? What do you mean, one of their officers? Was there a UC or... No, they've made the ridiculous claim that he killed some uniform while resisting arrest. As if a member of our house would fear prison. I should have never dared to think I got lucky here. These circumstances sound very complex, Makoto, and the police take the death of one of their own very seriously. What makes you so certain of this man's innocence? Because this man's name is Sosuke Ikariya. The Hound. I've known him all my life. All 3 or 4 years of it. There's no individual more honorable, more devoted, more trustworthy, and not once have I ever known him to be violent, impulsive. He didn't do this. I know he didn't do this, but proving that is your job. About that. I haven't actually accepted the job yet, Makoto. But you will, if for no other reason than because we shall pay you more than you're customarily received for a contract. Considerably more. Not everything's a question of money. Yes, your meaning is taken. It needn't be silver and gold. You'll have no complaints with your compensation. The favor of House Ikariya can go a long way in this city. As can our wrath. I don't appreciate being threatened. I don't find it funny, even coming from a kid. However, if the state thinks whoever killed those 4 blue bloods also killed a cop, I can't afford to sit this hand out. They'll go over every centimeter of that building. One wrong move, one hair out of place. If I lose here, I lose, period. But if I win, throwing an Ikariya-sized wallet in the pot beforehand is an all upside. I understand, Makoto of House Ikariya. I'll take Sosuke's case. You say that as if if it were ever in doubt. A true prodigy. But he might be right. Maybe it never was. I chose to put that gun into this Sosuke's hands when I could have just plunged that knife into his temple. Maybe the line drawn from that moment to the razor's edge that I'm walking right now is perfectly straight. A line drawn from one point to another is always perfectly straight. A better metaphor would be a bullet's trajectory. For all the talk of wind resistance and breathing patterns and the Coriolis effect and chaos theory, you can't exactly act surprised when your shot lands right where the crosshairs were pointing. Who recommended us? Morgan's my last name, by the way, before you start writing any checks. You should have enunciated. Mrs. Defense. 4:41 p.m., August 14th. In transit. Hey there, boss. Of course I'm fine. What do you think was going to happen? Yeah, all good news. I've got quite the paycheck coming my way. Maybe bad news for you if you get a large crowd tonight. Yeah, tell Sarah to meet me in the police station. Address I'm about to send. I've got work for her to do. It'll be quite the paycheck indeed waiting for me, assuming I can win. But can I afford to accept it? Ugh. Hey. Were any of those jokes around the office about your clients being connected to organized crime true? Ha 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 ha. What? Is this some kind of honeypot? Trying to get a grasp on something. Now I know you're baiting me. World's easiest, that's what she said, layup. So I'll still basket that shit though. I don't give a F. Why do you make everything so hard? Come on. Like, come on, Freckles. Low-hanging fruit. I have no idea what you're talking about. Obviously. Why you're asking me about mafia shit though? I'm working a case for the Ikariya, whom I assume you've heard of. Definitely. Under circumstances that are probably vulgar. Absolutely. Which you'd be happy to brag about to me. Anytime. But I'm not well positioned to turn down the job outright. So I'd like to know whether they'll be resistant about parting ways afterwards. Why? Do you not like getting paid lots of money? I don't like being chained. Fair enough. So you're like, just asking for my advice? The aura loss is incredible. Not gonna attempt to parse that. I doubt you ever could. My generation's sense of humor is practically impregnable. It was a very basic non sequitur, Auntie. It just wasn't funny. Not even. A non sequitur would be, what's the charge? That's just getting back on topic. The charge is homicide. 5 counts. Meh. You're probably fine. All the stuff you hear about mobsters being clingy with their lawyers. It's because they don't want anyone who's been through their underwear drawers running around, telling tales. Whatever poor effers they've pinned multiple homicides on, it's obviously not anyone important. I don't think he was framed. Not by his own people. Nah, pinned as in stuck with, like a chore. Powerful people. Mob or no. If they get lawyers, it's for tax evasion and conspiracy charges. Dirty work's left to the pawns. And the whole point of a pawn is you don't have to think twice about trading them off. All right. Guess I know the rumors are true then. Yep, you've uncovered my cool effing secret. Listen. Actors, singers, celebs. They all like expensive things and being the center of attention. Mobsters have money to burn and want the cologne of illegitimacy. Everyone wants what they can't have. Okay, chill F. Scott Fitzgerald. Great looking Gatsby ass. I still pine for the mother effer. What? All I'm saying, there's mutually beneficial arrangements to be made between the rich and famous and the rich and infamous. So you bet your ass I was in those rooms, negotiating appearance fees and taking my 30%. 30%? You really are shameless. That's what she said. All right. Thanks as always for the sage counsel. Hey, if you're really feeling grateful, do me a solid and call your rents. They say they never hear from you. And I know you can't be that busy. If you're bored enough to talk to me, they're the ones who are busy. Damn. Hey, Makoto. It's 146 centimeters. Weight. Such impudence. Occupation, heir apparent, unemployed, student. Likes biographies. Shogi. Amber. Dislikes tardiness. Tarnish. Group assignments. Tardiness, huh? Favorite figures. Saladin. Sun Tzu. Never would have guessed. Hannibal. You know what? That's pretty straight up. I'm assuming it's the Hannibal from, not from the Roman Empire, the other way around. The general, though. The war general. Favorite phrase? Vae victis, lit woe to the conquered. Relaxes by building, painting models. Oh, it's our girl. Wait, depends on the time of day? Question mark. July 7th, 166 centimeters. Occupation, lawyer to the rich and famous. Semi-retired. Likes waterfalls, manicures, macadamia nuts. Dislikes getting ghosted by my adorable goddaughter. Drink, cosmopolitan, double. Collects favors, friends in high places. Luck, SSR on the first pull. Fun. So who are your parents, girl? Why don't you call them? 5:04 p.m., August 14th. Obviously, I wasn't sure what would happen after I left that crime scene, and I wasn't sure what I'd find walking in here to speak to my client. But I definitely wouldn't have bet that the next time I saw this man alive, he'd actually look worse. Sosuke, huh? Did you not hear me? I said I'm your lawyer. Oh, I heard you. I'm just not interested in wasting my breath responding. I'm sorry. Is there a misunderstanding here? Not at all. I understand exactly what you are. You and your fellow... Your companion is staring at me very intently. Sarah, blink. You're embarrassing me in front of the Yakuza. It's a very dated word. You'd really prefer I call you an orca. I prefer if you give up and leave. What are you talking? I'm sure they told you I've been softened up, that they've broken me and are ready to sign whatever you put in front of me. Sorry to disappoint you, but the Hound of Ikariya doesn't heal. Cool. Sosuke, I'm going to repeat myself plainly and slowly because you clearly have multiple head injuries. I am not a lawyer. I am your lawyer. Ah, right then. Very good. Thank you for coming. I'm like, why are you fighting me? I apologize if I misspoke just now. I'd misspeak too if I lost as much blood as you. Morgan, Esquire. I'll be representing you from here on out. Sosuke, of House Ikariya. Sarah, paralegal and bartender. You're very young to have 2 jobs, or tend bar. Well, it is only part-time. Aha, right. So tell us, Sosuke of House Ikariya, what is your routine? You look very fit. My what? Are you asking about... Do you not have me on file? Sorry, which firm are you from? DDD? MPM? I'm in private practice. You mean you're not a mob lawyer? No, but please don't hold it against me. Everyone has to start the path to corruption somewhere. There are serious risks involved in representing a man with my background against charges like these. It's very sweet of you two. They say I killed a cop, miss. I realize I may look a sorry state at the moment, but I have not fallen so low that I'd sully the house's name by dragging a civilian into. Mikado thought differently. The young master. You've seen him. How is he? Where is he? Is he unharmed? He was sitting pretty atop a literal throne surrounded by armed guards last time I checked. Thank you for that. No one's told me anything, and if the young master has spoken on this matter, I won't go against his judgment. But I do hope you understand what you're getting into. I'm already in it, Sosuke. How well I understand what I'm in is something I think you'd be able to help with. Very well. What do you want to know? Kind of like Sosuke. I mean, he just had his ass beat, and that was pretty much all he's done. So far, all I know about you is your first and last name. It's a very important last name, but I take your meaning. And in truth, the first thing you should know is that I'm not worthy of it. Why? You disqualified due to pre-existing conditions? I was born Sosuke Hayakawa, 4th son of a distant branch family. The only reason I bear the name Ikariya is because I was adopted into the main house as an infant, in exchange for lifelong service to the main family. Sounds like a great deal. Lifelong? How did you serve the Ikariya as an infant? There are various tax benefits if you have exactly 2 children. Don't be absurd. I am what you would call a bodyguard. From the time I was able to walk, I was trained to be of service to the house by protecting the heir with my life. From the time you are able to walk, there are a lot of demand for toddler bodyguards. All that's ever been asked of me is that I stand in the right place at the right time. You mean like in family photographs? Oh, I thought it was me. You mean like in family photographs? Like in front of a blade. Even a child can manage that. The house has given me everything I've ever had and taught me everything I've ever known. What meager service I can offer in return means nothing compared to the debt I owe them. You view your relationship with your family as a transaction. It is not something so cold, girl. It is a matter of loyalty. Right. So if you were standing before a judge and they asked your name and occupation, you would say, "My name is Sosuke Ikariya, and I'm an eternal servant for a living?" I would say my name is Sosuke Ikariya, and I work for the head of a personal security for the Ikariya Financial Group. We are so sassy. August 23rd. 97 kilograms. That's some muscle, boy. 192 centimeters. Occupation, head of personal security, Ikariya Group. Likes whetstones, paperbacks, matcha. Dislikes the opera. Wasabi, insects. Aw, I love wasabi, though. Favorite author? Alexandre Dumas. Not a bad author to like. Coffee, Cafe Americano. Default status. Non-work related messages will be blocked. Good. And what does that entail exactly? I'm the young master's bodyguard, and I lead all his security teams. Nice to properly meet you. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. And I'm Sarah, paralegal and bartender, part-time. Yes, I believe you already mentioned that. It seems that we were all doing it twice. Well, thank you for your paralegal services, Sarah. And here I had the impression you had no sense of humor. What do you mean? It seems in this particular instance, Adonai, it was you who misidentified the proper manners at being sarcastic. Glad we've all broken the ice. Ooh, you've been taken captive. Makoto told me that this all started because you were taken captive yesterday. What happened? It was 2 p.m. The young master had just finished a meeting with the VIP in Crane Tower, floor 108. 2 p.m.? He wasn't in school? I'll ask that you refrain from mocking the young master in my presence. He is a child. Anyone can see that. But you have no idea the pressures that have been placed on him. Whatever my client wants. As I was saying, it was just after 2 p.m. Me and the rest of my team escorted him to the elevators along our planned exit route. But our lift stopped suddenly in between floors 61 and 62. That was when I made a mistake. I had a bad feeling, thought it best to get Makoto to the ground floor ASAP. So I forced the elevator open, crawled out, and pulled him out after me. But just as he got out, the elevator started up again, separating us from the rest of the guard. It was a trap. A 50-50 one. Staying wasn't safe either. If they could stop the elevator, it's not a stretch to think they could drop it too. He just lost the coin flip when he decided to exit. Yes, Sarah, it was a trap. Floors 60 to 70 were undergoing heavy retrofitting, and the other elevators weren't responding. Comms were jammed. I had reviewed the entire building's blueprints beforehand. Not very useful information, obviously, for a floor undergoing renovations. But I knew there was a construction elevator we could get to on the other side of the tower. I had to act fast. There was no time to doubt myself, and I did something unforgivable. You left the kid. I picked him up over my shoulder. Oh, well, that sounds like fun. House, forgive me. Everything the young master does for the sake of his name's dignity, and kids are tougher than you'd think. I think he'll get over it. So, you escorted him to the service elevator. I take it that's when things... Yes. I'm sorry, but I only remember a few vague details about what happened next. But I'll tell you what little I can. After I activated the lift, 2 assailants emerged from under a tarped doorway at my 7 o'clock, one tall, one thin. Tall was around 190 centimeters, and his weight, I'd say 100 kilograms with the mods. Thin was maybe 175 centimeters, but slouched, modded as well, but what I saw looked stripped down, so he couldn't have been heavier than 70 kilo. They had needle guns, slow to fire, slow to take effect, a memorable choice. Taller one shot first, jerked his arm when he pulled the trigger. A bad habit favored by street slinger punks who are used to compensating for the kickback of jailbroken zippers. He might as well have been aiming at the ceiling. Line thin lines up his shot properly, laser sight dialed in on the young master's left trapezoid. I shift into a horse rider stance and deflect the needle with my weapon. The lift doors open behind me just as another shooter steps forward at my 3 o'clock. Or so I thought. But then all they had was a laser pointer. Literally a cheap trick. But it worked. I hear a click from 8 o'clock, turn my neck, and feel a weight punch into my deltoid, a dullish kind of pain for an instant. I realize I'm already going numb, and that's when I squeeze. Squeeze? He's talking about his mods. That's how I've always described it. Others say they flex or they pull or hold. I squeeze. Akita Type 2 external thoracic booster. Some burst strength and pain-killing capabilities, but in short, it's a reflex enhancer. Makes 1 second feel like 15, in hindsight. And it makes it feel like you ran a marathon during those 15 seconds once the kickback gets you. But I digress. I moved. Got Makoto out into the elevator, wrenched the doors shut myself, taking 3 or more needles to the back in the process. I remember saliva pooling on my lip, and then cold concrete scratched my cheek. All right, Sosuke. So regarding Makoto, these men laid a trap, targeting him with tranks. Failed. Then they take you instead? Yes, to my great shame. You were outnumbered and ambushed, but you still managed to protect Makoto. What's there to be ashamed of? That I didn't see it coming. You're saying that this happened before? Dozens of attempts in the past year. Some headed off in the early stages, some sidestepped entirely, and some stopped with force. I knew their tactics and I knew our vulnerabilities, yet I still failed. Sosuke, that is not incorrect. Adonai. Am I wrong? Shouldn't a bodyguard get at least 1 shot off before being taken down? Shot? What do you mean shot? You're not carrying a firearm. No, no one in the team had guns. How's that? None of us on the security team had firearms with us. But you're a gangster. I'm the head of personnel security for the Ikariya financial group. Walking into an allied group's property armed to the teeth insults their hospitality and makes the house look insecure, or worse, impotent. And I'm not a security expert, but I do think there's some gray area between armed to the teeth and empty-handed. I mean, didn't you just say you deflected their attack? That's the sword. I was not defenseless just because I wasn't carrying a gun. Oh, I had my sword. So lame. So cool. You walk around town with what, a samurai sword? You just assume that it's a katana. Is it? Yes. It is a signifier of my position within the house and shows that I am acting as a representative of it. Is it ceremonial then? No, it is quite sharp. I can attest to that. Though it's probably in terrible condition by now, seeing how this city's policeman handled everything else they touched. Speaking of which, perhaps we should move on to the night's main events. You tried for Makoto, got you instead, and took you to the lower wards. Why? I've been wondering that myself. Aren't you essentially worthless? Oh my god. As a hostage, she means. I know that. Thinking back, I was surprised myself to wake up at all, let alone in captivity. But it seems they had questions they wanted to ask me. What do you remember? Whatever they used on me, I can remember some things, but how much of it was real, what order it happened in, it's all... Just say whatever comes to mind. It can be anything. Sights, smells, voices. There are no wrong answers. I was bound, my wrists bound above my head, tied to something that smelled like iron and rattled like old iron. Tiles beneath my feet, some kind of bathroom or decontamination area. Good guess. They asked me questions. I said things, loose lips, like being drunk for the first time again. And I'm confident that other than vulgarities, it was all incoherent. Because there were shocks, the taste of blood, and I must have bit my tongue during the spasms. And there were beatings, of course. I wouldn't have guessed. Adonai, do you need corrective lenses? Sarcasm is just how I grieve a lost opportunity, Sarah. Lost opportunity? Yeah, it's a damn shame. From what I can see of it, a pretty face like yours would go a long way with the jury if it wasn't pulverized. Ridiculous. Is he blushing? I agree about his face, Adonai, but I don't believe it is his only strong feature. Let us move on. Really? Well, in that case, how did your captivity end? Do you recall escaping? I was blindfolded the entire time, but my ears weren't boxed so bad. There was a door that squeaked and whined, so I always knew when someone was coming or going. One voice asked questions mostly. It was light. Another voice grunted when he hit me, heavy. Other voices came and went, and then eventually, there was talk. Through the door I heard they were talking to someone else. A new voice. Was it high-pitched or low, soft, loud or soft? It doesn't matter. What's important is that it belonged to someone new. Someone besides you and the dead who was there last night. Did you make out any part of their conversation? No, not a word. But there was a loud noise, gunshots, followed by shouting and ugly sounds. And then, a hollowed pain in my skull as I lost consciousness again. When I next came to, I had something in my hand. In my hands. Something sharp. I didn't even think to ask what it was or where it came from. I just started working at the bindings, rushed and clumsy, poked myself in the process. But I cut them loose. Took the gag out, and blindfold, it was so tight I cut it rather than try, and the damn thing must have been acting as a bandage, because when I took it off, between the light and the pain, I thought my head was split open. Took me a long time to stand up. Felt like I could lie on that cold, disgusting floor forever if I just... But something was poking me, something tucked into my waistband. The gun. A gun. I imagine my surprise. Checked the safety, the chamber, reflexively, but only saw 2 spent slugs. I was too tired to be confused, so I just walked out of that squeaky door and into red. Just red. And then there was blinking, an IV, handcuffed to a stretcher, and an ambulance, some cop reading me my rights, saying that I killed 5 people. No, wait. Some judge or official said that later. When I woke up in the ambulance, they said that I was a cop killer. Omitting some strong language. I don't understand. You were held captive, interrogated, tortured. But then you woke up armed and were able to escape. The cops didn't ask me any questions, and I wouldn't have answered if they had. It's been nearly a full day, and I'm just now saying it aloud for the first time. It truly sounds absurd. This is your world, Sosuke, not mine. Do you have any theories on what happened? Only 2 possibilities come to mind. In the first scenario, 1 or more of my captors wanted to kill me but needed an excuse to do so. So they let me escape. They gave me a knife and an unloaded gun, then wait for me to stumble out so they can mist me and be done with it. But the plan doesn't work. Somehow I limp out of that room and shoot, cut, stab, kill them all. That would be quite the feat, given the condition you say you're in. Yes, a tale for the ages. But it's not possible. Why isn't it possible? Even if he had the motive, and they were stupid enough to give him the opportunity, he was still lacking. Wait, what? Bullets. Wait. They kill me, so they let me escape. Gave me a knife and an unloaded gun. Oh, an unloaded gun, missing bullets. In a brief, I read, 2 of the pods were shot to death. I'm sure you're highly qualified, Sosuke, but I doubt you can fire a gun without bullets. No, I cannot. As I said, the gun I woke up with had already fired both its shots. So if we tell the police that the gun wasn't loaded, would that clear Sosuke's name for 2 of the murders? There's no proof the gun was already empty by the time he got his hands on it. She's right. That gun was some kind of jailbroken mag rail. The only residue it'd leave behind is static. So as long as my prints are on it, that's all the evidence they need to claim I fired it. How about that second possibility, then? Second possibility is that someone walked into the building, killed my captors, and then tried to frame me for it. That sounds like lunacy. We've already eliminated the other possibility. Insane trumps impossible. Like it or not, this bad Samaritan theory is our best shot. What is it? I'm just surprised you believe me. You haven't even asked if I did it. I never ask. It helps that I can usually tell. A wise policy for the world you're setting foot into. Not as if it makes any difference here. Even I don't know if I'm guilty. You were drugged and beaten. You're still injured, even now. And we just reasoned that you couldn't have killed your captors without help. What makes you think you might still be guilty? Because I've killed before. A pale spark flickers in the back of my mind. My index finger rises slightly, my lips part. I was expecting this, stepping into criminal underworld. Looking forward to it. The rare opportunity to speak frankly with someone else who's... You mean... Yes, I was in the military. Okay. I've taken lives. Many times. That does not make you a murderer. Soldiers are given orders. I've killed people. Whether or not a superior asked me to doesn't change that fact. But soldiers... Are you a soldier, Sarah? No. So drop it. She is good at following orders. It can take years to acquire that skill. I imagine it comes easy for androids. Yes, I suppose that's... Wait, that's an android. Did you miss the glowing barcode? And ignore my self-introduction? Oh, look, I'm tired. I thought those were highlights or something. Did my hair catch your eye? You have discerning taste. You see, each strand is actually... Was there something you wanted to say, Sosuke? I've taken lives before, and so I know how I feel afterwards. Thin. And how do you feel right now? Right now I feel... What is it? You remember something? Yes. After I stepped out that door, I saw red. But I do remember one sensation. One other sensation. I remember that feeling of gripping my sword. That brief you read, it listed all the charges, all the causes of death. The fifth man, the cop, they say I killed. How did he die? Actually, yeah. How did that last guy die? Why is no one telling me? Stabbed through the back with a sword, skewered like a piece of goddamn meat. And you've got the balls to ask us to carry him to a hospital? I don't think that's quite how I phrased the request. I've been paying close attention. Would you like me to play back what you said? Not right now, Sparky. Reyes, she's just doing her job. It's not like she's asking, oh, save the lecture, gray hair. Gray? Let's go look at London's profile. He's a homicide detective. He likes duct tape, mascara, oak, dislikes parking lots, ties, honeydew, best at finding new restaurants. Hey, sick man. Commendations, none displayed at his workstation. Wardrobe, more expensive than it looks. I believe. Come on, my hair isn't... It's graying, maybe. In case I haven't made it clear, I've never liked you, Morgan. Aw, you're breaking my... I hadn't noticed. But I never took you for a mobloid. Whatever my client's associations might be. He's a cop killer. Innocent until proven guilty isn't a phrase I coined myself, detective. It's actually somewhat important. Reyes. Homicide detective. She likes sneakers, volcanoes, the Paralympics. Oh yeah, it's true. Scalpers, hoarders, Anise. She doesn't like Anise, wow. Favorite TV. Civil engineering documentaries. Shampoo. You know, conditioner is more important. She is right. Undefeated at volleyball. Quite the athlete. Oh, don't worry about that. The proving won't take us long at all. Do you always take pride in rushing your investigations? We've all seen the same intake file by now, yes? Oh, the medical records. Sosuke Ikariya was apprehended at the scene of the crime and placed in the medical transport. Injuries noted at the time, blood from various sources from the anterior front of the body. Numerous bones in left hand broken as if impacted at a hard surface, slight lacerations found on left hand. Internal bleeding through the torso and skull, bruising and rope burns on both wrists as if bound, numerous bruises on the anterior front side of the body. Others bled across the top of the fleet and pant legs, largest wound found on the crown of the skull, back of the head near the top. At the time of booking, numerous additional injuries were noted, including bruise to left eye, busted lip, broken nose, box left ear, blunt trauma to anterior, right side of the head. When or where these additional injuries were sustained is not noted. Okay. My client was in bad shape when he was arrested, but his wounds were treated in a medical transport. Yet somehow, in between arriving at the station and his booking, all his wounds were reopened, and some of them had multiplied. Tell me if you can, great detective, how will we ever solve the mystery of the reappearing fractured skull? Your client was being moved between floors. He struggled, tried to escape, and then fell down the stairs? Really? Was there a lawnmower waiting at the bottom? Look, we're all adults here. Poor Sarah. So let's just say it. Your coworkers kicked the shit out of him. Well, what do you want me to do about it? I want you to uphold the law. For some reason, I thought you cared about that. A police badge isn't a time machine. By the time we took custody, he was already... She's right, Tiger. What's done is done. You know, you've got a snowball's chance in hell of proving your client was assaulted while in police custody, and you'll never get charges brought against the officers who did it. So try asking for something doable. Don't go giving away all my best tricks. The door and the face tactic is already fragile. I want him to see a doctor. You've got to be shitting me. That's a blood KW in there with a military grade mods. He's not leaving this building. But we could have a doctor brought here and give him the chance to take a hostage. He's not the 99 man, Reyes. He can't break his cuffs. Don't say 99 man. You don't know what it means. You're too old. Is a dude who'd beat 99 people. First, a rhetorical state of being in which a human has replaced much of their body with cybernetic equivalent as possible. 99% machine. Oh, I see. The phrase has been popularized as both a meme and thought-up experiment. Officially, the individual who had the greatest percentage of their body mass replaced with artificial analogs is an anonymous male adult living in the Eastern Hemisphere who has suffered from a rare and terminal form of bone cancer before signing up for experimental surgery offered through How Industries Theseus Initiative. How officially described the patient as currently living a normal and productive life, though Theseus has never produced any consumer market products and has not published any additional research papers in the last 2 years, leading some to question whether the results are all replicable. 99 man. You're too old. How about a medic who can't be taken hostage? A medical ADD? Sure. Great. Let's see if we can negotiate his premium lower while we're at it. Is that a refusal, Detective Reyes? Oh, I didn't say no, did I? Great. He also needs a protective detail. Lady, I swear to, counselor. Protective details are comprised of off-duty cops. I don't think that'll have the outcome you're looking for. No. But if my client is left unattended one more night, he's likely to be declared unfit to stand trial when he shows up to court with his head caved in. An outcome I genuinely believe you're not looking for either. We could keep him here. What, in the interrogation room? Counseling quarter. Tables can't be moved. Table can't be moved, but if you slide the chairs out of the way, the floor's not actually that hard. How do you even know that? Given what other lodgings he's had in the last 24 hours, I don't think your client will mind. So if Detective Reyes and Detective London take shifts keeping watch, now we're keeping watch? It is the homicide department's counseling quarters. You think I give a shit what happens to that son of a bitch? You think I wouldn't walk in there myself and... You wouldn't. What? It's not in your nature. What the hell is that supposed to mean? You either have it or you don't. Trust me, if I had the chance to take a swing at that son of a bitch, yeah, you already called him that. A piece of shit, a bastard, a killer. But unlike every other cop I walk past to get in here, you've yet to call Sosuke an animal. So what the hell does that mean? It's the only thing that matters. I've got the outsider's perspective, so I know. Your average human can do anything to anyone. So as long as they're not a person. Whatever. Think what you want, creep. Well, so as long as you get your only request, so as long as that's your only request, we should be able to. I need to get into the crime scene as soon as possible. You've got to be. What? Like tonight? She's not rushing more than anyone else, sunshine. Everyone up the line has been raring to go on this, now that Sosuke's actually got a lawyer. Well, maybe if that son of a bitch hadn't clammed up all day, we wouldn't... She said it again. Whatever. Pick then, counselor. You can bully us into guard duty or escort duty, but we can't do both. I need both. You'll have to split up. But I can help with that. Or rather, Sarah can. I can? Of course you can. You can go treat Sosuke. Adonai, I am not trained in... Oh, I love this bit. She's pretending she doesn't remember being registered as my medical ADD. Yes, I would never forget that unforgettable experience. I have never done first aid before. Well, watch a tutorial first. Use lots of sanitizer. Just hand her some bandages and she'll get Sosuke looking good as new in no time. Sarah looks unconfident. Then you can plop her in front of the door and even 20 crooked cops working together couldn't get her to budge. That much is certainly accurate. I have a strong core, so if I focus on my lower center of gravity... Thanks for the sales pitch, but it doesn't mean shit. The crime scene is in the lower wards. If you think after what happened last night, that any cop with a pulse would go down there without their partner. It's okay, sunshine. I'll take her down there. Is everyone else in here huffing Nirvana? London, it's blue blood territory. Blue blood territory outskirts, really. They lost a whole pod. They'll be swarming the place. You can't go down there without backup. Backup, huh? You know Mac from Contraband? Skinny guy? Kind of a perv? Yeah, he's skinny. Look, he's got crime scene analysis sweeps going over that place with a fine comb right about now. Drones, probes, the works. They'll have eyes on us before we get even 5 minutes of the place. Whatever. Just keep in contact for once. I hope you're being generously compensated, Eve. Selling your soul to the mob. It would be a shame if you didn't at least get a good price. Hey, you coming, Blinkers? Gotta find where they store all the med kits in this dusty old piece of... Go on. I'll be right behind you, detective. Sorry about that. She's still new to all this, really. Not old like me. She does seem to be on edge, more so than usual. It's her first time losing a fellow officer. I think she's taking it pretty hard. Maybe even personally. Did they know each other? Alright. You gather up all your things. I'll go bring us up a ride. Great. Thanks for all the help, detective. You're a lifesaver. Thought this one occasion where I wouldn't have to have any trouble finding the place. Really didn't take you that long to patch him up, huh? Now we just wait here all night. That clock runs pretty slow. If you're not doing anything else, detective, might you be interested in answering some questions? Huh. Good for Sarah. Really picking up on some stuff here. One more into the depths. All right. You know what? I'm going to stop here. We're on our way back to the crime scene that we committed, minus the cop. So, yeah, I guess we'll figure out what's going on, and I guess we'll get to hang out with Detective London for once. One-on-one. Should be interesting. So I'll see you guys in the next part of The Devil, and we'll do a nice little investigation. See ya.